You were never a Native American. You were never. You were never a Native American, brother, because this was really going on within the conscious community. Many people would say that this is our original land. They would say that America, the American soil, is our original land, and our ancestors was already here, and etc. This is the rhetoric in which I constantly see. This is the rhetoric, excuse me, as far as the things in which I hear, and that's further from the truth. Because if we do our research, and if we just look at history, the Choctaw Nation, the Seminoles, right, and etc., they all participated in your ancestral chastisement, slavery, and etc. So why would I, me personally, call myself a Native American? This don't make no sense. So if I would call myself a Native American and say that I have Moorish descent or whatever, I'm clearly stating that I embrace the fact that me too as well, because I am my ancestor through the mitochondria, DNA, and etc. already have been proven scientifically that scientists and so forth did a study. In the study from the out of Africa migration, which occurred 800,000 years ago through 1.3 or 1.2 million years ago, shows that you can trace your ancestors, from 30,000 plus years. So that means that if I call myself a Native American, I embrace the fact that I was enslaved too as well by foreigners. These are the same people that granted me citizenship too as well. Isn't it strange? Isn't it strange? These are the same people that granted me citizenship. And that is the simple fact that most people think that they are Native Americans because they was granted that. Right? Choctaw Nation, or the Choctaw tribe, partner up and was given access by the United States and the Confederate States too as well, to own slaves, to punish them, and etc. Right? It was, I think, over 1,300 slaves owned by the Choctaw, the Cherokee and Seminole, etc. They all own the five primary Native American tribes. They all own slaves, African slaves to be exact. They all did. Over 1,000 slaves was owned by those five primary Native American tribes. That's in Oklahoma. So when we call ourselves this, we really must have knowledge about who enslaved our ancestors after they escaped from slavery, right? That's why I can never call myself that. I can never call myself a Native American. I can never do that. I can never. I remember when I was actually debating a brother, and he was saying that we are. The brother, he was showing me all of these things that you can go and you actually could find evidence of your ancestors that was here 15,000 years ago. But my thing is that if you even want to call yourself a Native American and say that we already were here, you must have talked about the fact, where in the hell did we come from or came from before we entered the Americas? It was one place in particular, and that place is Africa. This was really going on within the conscious community. All of these disconnection and all of this rhetoric to really justify to not identify with who they are, and that is an African. All of the Native American tribes participated in your ancestral chastisement, slavery, confinement, etc. It was the same Native American tribes, the Choctaw, the Seminole, and etc. in Oklahoma. that actually practice interracial marriages with the black woman too as well. This is why you see Native Americans, right? Black Native Americans, curly hair, right? Curly hair. But those black women that were enslaved by Europeans and joined Native American tribes, correct? They actually had children with Native Americans. So that is why the hair texture of them do not, right? Do not look like an average African. Because I can utilize the example from the Somalians. The Somalians have Arab within their blood. That is why you will see the hair texture, correct, of them not being like an average African. Because an average African, or should I say all Africans, they do not have, quote, good hair. That word good hair comes from a colonialization terminology in which was propagated onto the African. These are facts now. Because what is good hair? Mixed ancestry that's consistent within your DNA. What is mixed hair now? This is something that we should really understand, not overstand. Because we're not Native Americans. We're not. It was even a video of, quote, Cherokee Freedman. He was saying even how the fact that the Dawes Road, correct, about the 18th century, and the Dawes Road was nothing more but then where you can trace your genealogy pertaining to what Native American tribe in which you belong to, saying that it was all incorrect information, saying that the Dawes Road was going based off physical appearance and it wasn't going based off Native American pertaining or being within your DNA, right? It was all incorrect. All of it was incorrect. You know, it was even the Native Americans, they will write out each enslaved African pertaining to their physical appearance and saying that you belong to this particular tribe. They was going based off physical appearance. These are facts. The Dawes Road was going based off physical appearance. Was not going based off DNA. It was not going based off genes. It was not going based off none of those things. It wasn't science. It wasn't science. That's the only thing I could say. And people will utilize that example too as well. And that example is actually terrible to actually utilize to say that you're a Native American, because you're not. You're an African, whether you like it or not. You're an African, whether you like it or not. All other races, all other ethnic groups know exactly who we are besides us. They know exactly, and the people who so-called allegedly conscious, those are the people that's really not conscious. Because those people that's conscious, they will embrace something that have been oppressive to them. They will embrace something that's oppressive to them. And these are the people that are so-called allegedly conscious. Come on now. And then you got these myths going around saying that Scipio Africanus is the same individual that gave the motherland Africa its name. The last time I checked and last time I done my research and etc., it was those Romans who actually gave Scipio. And before I go further, Scipio is not even his name, the Roman general, right? Scipio is the third name pertaining within the general name of him. The first name is Publio, correct? His father's name is not even, or last name is not Africanus. His mother's last name is not Africanus, right? But it was those Romans in the 2nd or 3rd century, after the successful defeat against Hannibal, the dictator at the time period, that gave him Africanus. This is what the conscious community do not talk about. They don't address this. They don't talk about these things. Because every single thing in which they would talk about is all disconnection from the motherland Africa. Nothing but rhetoric in which they hear from somebody else's mouth. nothing more than self-hate that's really stirring around within the conscious community, Nothing more than self-hate. All of it is self-hate. And it's funny to me, I would say, that the name Africanus means, in the origin of it, means that you defeated a primary ruler that was within Africa. Because Hannibal looked just like you and I, brother. This is a thing in which most people do not talk about. And it's interesting. The word Afri, A-F-R-I, pertaining to the inhabitants that's located in North Africa, Libya, pertaining to black folks, pertaining to Africans. So, something that we should keep in mind, that we're not that we're not Native Americans, and that we're Africans. Love who you are, embrace who you are, and etc. Peace and love.